I had never read that.
This meeting is being recorded.
Hi, welcome to the IIBA Tampa Bay, Florida chapter study group. We are in February of 2022. This is our 19th class. Welcome. If you need to reach us, we are in Tampa Bay, Florida. You can Google us and find us on LinkedIn, Meetup, and we got a couple other ways. If you have any questions, we're happy to help. Let's jump into our meeting. If anyone else shows up, we will give them credit on our attendance sheet. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about the underlying competencies chapter. The underlying competencies chapter is chapter 9. Let's jump to the beginning of it here. It's long because I helped write it. Behavioral characteristics. So the three things I wrote in the BABOK, this version, is underlying competencies, the techniques, and the glossary. So let's get to this. Where is 9.0? And here we are, underlying competencies. So competencies are grouped into 6 categories: analytical thinking and problem solving, behavioral characteristics, business knowledge, communication skills, interaction skills, and tools and technology. Elliot, have you had a chance to read through this chapter?
Yes, I did.
Excellent. Well, then you might get some of these answers right because the rest of us are going to stink at it. We're going to totally rely on you. Does that feel like good pressure? Okay, so we're going to say what is not required knowledge when performing this exercise. The scoping exercise within strategy analysis is critical for defining the project and conceptualizing a solution. Does this look like underlying competencies? This looks like solution. Let me go back. Select exam, underlying competencies. Let's do it again. Okay, let's do this. Julie just received her performance appraisal. Her manager praised her for the confidence her stakeholders have in the process she uses for helping them select correct solutions on our project. What competency is Julie being praised for? Problem-solving abilities, decision-making process, creative thinking abilities, or decision-making abilities?
Maybe decision, something with decision.
So would that be B
B
or
looks
D?
good to me.
Yeah, B.
Right, let's check it out. Check answer, there we are. Okay, the correct answer is confidence of the participants in the problem-solving process that the selected solution is complete. So her problem-solving abilities are what we're looking for. B is incorrect because it describes an effectiveness measure of trustworthiness, but the question is asking about the process for selecting solutions. Select correct solutions. So that's what we have to look for next time. Okay, next one.
Here's a counter argument to that. She's
Tell us.
facilitating the group's selection of a solution and not coming up with a solution herself. That may change things.
You're right. It very well could. Do you want me to flag that question?
No, otherwise we flag every question.
You're right.
But the question does give you the perception that she's driving it, not doing it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah, if
I
it was
agree.
like assessment or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So driving would be more B, where they're giving you an answer that she's actually coming up with a solution.
Yep.
Different.
Okay.
Anyway.
Number 2, Sally, the BA, was in the process of conducting training and noticed that members of the class were having difficulty retaining the information. She is currently using PowerPoint slides supporting by written material. What might you suggest she try? Add a kinesthetic component, more frequent review of the materials, assessments, they would pay better attention if they knew they were going to be tested, or including more graphics. So they right now have PowerPoint slides with written material. What else
Alright,
might they,
what's kinesthetic?
something you can touch or do?
Movement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think, I mean, including more graphics, it's already PowerPoint.
It is already PowerPoint.
Yeah. Frequent review, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I think
If-
kinesthetic.
Okay, let's try kinesthetic. And the correct answer is kinesthetic, learning by doing. It is the only learning technique Sally doesn't appear to be using at this time. Combining techniques help people learn faster and retain information longer. You are conducting a workshop. Which of the following facilitation roles is responsible for ensuring the desired results are reached? Participants, facilitator, scribe, or workshop owner? Which one is responsible for ensuring the desired results are reached?
Facilitator, possibly.
Yeah, I think facilitator.
Correct. The facilitator sets the tone for the workshop, introduces the goals and agenda, enforces ground rules, keeps activities focused on the purpose and desired outcomes, facilitates decision-making and conflict resolution, and ensures all participants are heard. You know, facilitating is an art. You have published and distributed a hard copy of your requirements package to your stakeholders. Which of the following is the most important consideration regarding this type of written communication? Nothing. You will explain everything in the requirements walkthrough. You need to adjust the style of writing to the needs of your audience. You've included all your diagrams, or you need to ensure you get good sign-off on the document. Which of those is the most important consideration?
I think B, adjust the style of writing to needs of your audience. But what other
Right.
things? Okay.
It is true. It's ironic. I'm hearing my own words coming back at me as I'm reading this. It's like, I wrote that. Eric is working on a major project with a looming deadline. The project will greatly benefit the bank he works for, especially if the team can finish it on time. In fact, Eric's whole team will receive a bonus if they can deliver before their deadline. Eric just discovered an important new feature that would significantly improve the solution, but it would interfere with the projected deadline if the team included it now. What should Eric do? I want to hear soap opera music here. Recommend a course of action and let the sponsor decide. Ignore the requirements since Eric knows another project will be launched to address the new feature. Bring the feature up with the project manager and let her decide. Or because the feature is important and of value to the company, work on it even if it means not receiving a team bonus. What should Eric do?
Da, 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 da.
Exactly. Exactly.
Either A or C for sure.
Okay. Need another vote.
I'm thinking D is the answer they want. Not what you would do, but that would be the answer they'd want.
Okay, I need one more vote.
I go A if no one else will speak up.
I'm gonna go. Raising the issue and making recommendations are good behavior traits for a BA, and making recommendations is a central tenet of the business analyst. Ta-da!
Also, letting the actual stakeholders decide is always key. Let them know what's at stake and give them the trade-offs.
Yep, exactly. Give them some control and let them be responsible, but give them all the information. Making comparisons or trade-offs between similar and dissimilar options results is an example of which of the following competencies: systems thinking, creative thinking, decision-making, or problem solving?
Maybe not decision making, but trade-offs
Yeah, I think problem solving.
and the problems.
Okay, let's try it. The correct answer is decision-making. Would you like to see 9.1.2? Okay, you didn't answer, so I'm going to say that's a yes. Must be effective in understanding the criteria involved in making decisions and assisting others to make better decisions. We've got effectiveness measures, appropriate stakeholders are represented, stakeholders understand the process and the rationale behind the decision, all pros and cons of all available options are clearly communicated, and the decision reduces or eliminates uncertainty, and any remaining uncertainty is accepted. Let's see if there's another page. The decision made addresses the needs of the opportunity at hand and is in the best interest of all stakeholders. Stakeholders understand all conditions, environment, and measures in which the decision will be made, and the decision is made, which is one of your measurements. Lexi is communicating business analysis information to resource managers via email every Monday as per the stakeholder engagement approach. Lexi is frequently contacted by several of those same resource managers asking about information that was already emailed. What should Lexi do to resolve this breakdown in communication? Begin scheduling weekly conference call to provide a forum for follow-up discussion. Lexi needs to engage stakeholders to ensure they understand the information is being communicated and that email is an effective mode of communication. Replace the emails with a weekly meeting with minutes that can be referenced after the meeting, or refer the resource managers to the email.
Just copy them.
I'd say B.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're
Try
not
it.
reading the emails, so sending them more is gonna
Right.
help.
Great. Having a meeting about an email is kind of backwards. Good job.
Well, first ask them what the problem is. Always go for the feedback. It's my
Yep.
model again. Feedback, understand it, go next. Feedback till everyone's on, go next, and so on.
Right. Maslow's hierarchy of needs proposes that once a person has satisfied the need for achievement and respect, what is the next need?
Self-actualization. I don't know how is that related to the to this chapter, but that's what I think.
It's
I
part of
remember.
understanding the underlying competencies. Let's check it out.
Actually, I learned that in junior achievement in the late 70s.
Yes.
They were big on Maslow.
Maslow is awesome, especially if you're being really hard on yourself and you don't realize the state that you're in. If you do understand the state that you're in, it's easier to be gentle to yourself. So I tell people whenever they're going through a crisis, they need to understand this theory because it's hard to learn. It's hard to produce whenever you're in survival mode, and beating yourself up doesn't help anything. If you're able to reduce stakeholder resistance to needed changes and are able to articulate a clear and motivating vision of a necessary future state, you are exhibiting which competency? Teamwork, facilitation and negotiation, motivation and inspiration, or leadership and influencing?
Maybe a leadership, vision,
Influencing, yeah.
leadership and influencing.
Okay. The above scenario includes core competencies of leadership and influencing. What is the most important reason for a facilitator to use icebreakers? Start building teamwork and positive working relationships, make facilitation sessions go faster, introduce participants to each other, or avoid future conflict? Why do people use icebreakers?
A or C. Yeah, just to
Let's
people
try.
like engage people. Yeah.
Icebreakers help team begin the forming, which is the first stage of Tuckman's model of team development.
Exactly my thought process.
If you can get people to identify that someone else has something similar to them, they automatically will create a relationship with them emotionally. Requirements traceability identifies and documents the lineage of each requirement. What are the ways in which the lineage can be identified and documented? If one of you gentlemen would read this, I'm going to go grab my power cord. I'll be right back.
Documents the lineage.
Lineage.
So what answer did you choose?
I'm going with B.
Okay. The answer chosen is B. These are all competencies listed under traceability as part of the requirements management technologies.
So
Very good.
people usually picture RTMs as going horizontally rather than up and down. And also, as we discussed earlier, there's kind of a lineage across phases, but also a relationship hierarchically within the design. So that's the other part of what they were trying to get at there. I'm amazed that we actually agreed with the book and with these questions that said.
Hey, I wrote this part of the book. You got to agree with it.
No,
It makes sense.
Book's fine. I mean, the questions.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm good with that. Next question. Which of the following are examples of office productivity tools and technology? Word processing spreadsheets and requirements management, word processing spreadsheets and presentation software, word processing spreadsheets and issue tracking tools, or word processing spreadsheets and modeling and diagramming tools? I think we got word processing and spreadsheets are going to be included in the list.
Yeah.
Maybe A, requirements management. I don't know if the modeling and diagramming are really productivity. It's more like visualizing tools.
Probably productivity tools would be presentation
Or presentation
software.
B.
But
Well, that's Word,
mostly,
Excel, and PowerPoint.
Right.
but
How much productivity you
issue
can get.
tracking, like what did the big ones? I mean, those are productivity, and modeling and diagramming are also a form of that. Requirements management is different, but I think the best answer, as Cliff pointed out, is B.
Okay, let's try it. The correct answer, office productivity tools and technology include word processing, presentation programs, presentation software, spreadsheets, communication tools, collaboration, and knowledge management tools and hardware. Good job, guys.
Although C and D both answer that.
I
Yeah,
agree.
because D, you could throw Visio in there.
Yeah.
Like
Which is now
Visio,
part of
a lot more than
Office.
PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Well, it's an add-on. Terry has completed her first business analysis package and has to choose the appropriate platform for communicating it to stakeholders. Which of the following is not a stated communication platform? Individual collaboration, nonverbal methods, verbal methods, or group collaboration? This is a weird question. Oh, sorry. Go back. Stated communication platform. So we know that individual collaboration is a communication platform. Group collaboration would work. How about the other two?
Hmm.
Goofy.
I agree.
I would never think of it this way.
Yeah. B seems to be the odd one out, but I don't know.
You want to let's try B?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
An invented answer is verbal methods.
was trying to say that
Okay.
it was on mute. It said not,
No.
right?
You were on mute for the nonverbal answer.
Yeah.
That's crazy. As a VA, you've been effective at reducing resistance to necessary change. As such, which underlying competency have you most demonstrated? Leadership and influencing, persuasion, teaching, negotiation, and conflict resolution.
There's that leadership and influencing again.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be like they would put the same answer? Maybe
Yeah, they like that one.
resistance, then it's persuasion or negotiation, conflict resolution. I would think from those two, B or D.
Okay, which one do you want me to pick?
Resistance, persuasion. I would pick up persuasion.
Okay.
E. Still leadership.
Reduced resistance to necessary change is listed as one of the effectiveness measures for leadership and influencing.
Better be on
Now
mute.
we know. You got to stay off mute, dude. We need you. Which tools provide a means of documenting business analysis information and are easy to share with stakeholders? Requirements management tools, business analysis tools, configuration management tools, or office productivity tools?
I don't know. We kind of just went over office productivity tools.
Uh-huh.
Office productivity.
I mean, business analysis information can be anywhere in the engagement process. So that says B or D to me. A is too specific, C is something else.
Okay. I need one more vote.
I kind of like D too.
Okay, let's try it.
D. Oh.
The correct answer. Office productivity tools and technology can be used to document and track information and artifacts.
Well, what's a business analysis tool? Not necessarily modeling and diagramming.
No, I said D. Does it sound like B when I say that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did I choose the wrong one and you said B? I
No,
apologize.
I meant D, but I don't know if this microphone's working well.
Well, sometimes B and D do sound the same to
Yeah,
me.
like,
I apologize. Okay, that one's on me. What is considered the best way to teach something? Use hands-on exercise to reinforce new material, use a mix of visual, auditory, and hands-on activities, test the learner's knowledge, or use a formal presentation and exercises.
oh, I think this one's easy. B, right? You can use them all.
Yeah,
Anybody disagree with B?
I would even add C, but there's like, is C included in B some way?
No, there's no way to do that. This is the correct B, right, Cliff?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I heard you right that time. Okay. This ensures you're reaching all learning styles. When I wrote this, my son was being diagnosed with Asperger's, and I was very focused on learning styles. What is the difference between business acumen and organization knowledge? The former requires an understanding of fundamental business principles, and the later requires an understanding of the organizational context surrounding the business analysis work. The former crosses industries and the later is specific to the project. The former crosses industries and the later is specific to the organization. The former crosses industries and the later requires an understanding of the competitive forces that shape the industry.
Like I would think A.
Got any other votes?
Certainly.
You like that one?
Yeah.
Okay. The correct answer is the former crosses industries and the later is specific to the organization. So organization knowledge is for the organization. Business acumen is basically business principles across industries.
Well, here's the thing, that may be true, but A is just a restatement of C. So it's essentially correct. And that means you know what you're talking about. I think the actual test questions do not split hairs this finely.
I think the only thing that makes A less right is it's talking about business analysis work, because it doesn't really depend on the business analysis work.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay. A business analyst must be effective in generating alternative solutions that solve the business need or problem. Which of the following underlying competencies would be helpful in that endeavor? Creative thinking, system thinking, decision-making, or brainstorming? Generating alternative solutions to solve the business need or problem is the key there.
Yeah, well, that screams brainstorming to me.
Brainstorming is a very specific kind of what?
Listing as many alternative solutions as possible.
Okay, you want brainstorming?
Great Christopher Walken, Natalie Woods moving.
Uh-huh. You want brainstorming?
Yeah, brainstorming.
Okay. The answer is creative thinking. Generating and productivity, considering new ideas is a stated effectiveness measure of creative thinking. Which of these facility practices is an effective way to deal with the most types of difficult people situations? Ignore the difficult person. Control of the group then when disruptive behavior occurs. Use timeout, remove the disruptive person from the group, or create and enforce ground rules dealing with difficult behavior.
Maybe ground rules. D.
Let's try it. It is correct to enforce discipline, structure, and ground rules for the meeting. It's even best if you can have the audience create the ground rules. That way they've got emotional buy-in. Requirements management technologies provide functionality that can assist the business analyst in managing requirements. What functionality might be included in the requirements management system? Baselining, approvals, sign-off, quality control, and implementation status. Requirements workflow, traceability, configuration management. Creation of models, executables, and traceabilities of visual models to business rules and textual requirements, or tracking requirements, risk, conflict, and defect tracking. For instance, what you use Jira for, or service now.
Or A, I'm thinking about A or B.
Which one?
I'd say
Yeah,
A.
I would agree with you.
You were close. Requirements management
Control
technologies can
and,
provide requirements workflow
configuration
management.
management are both the odd ones out in my mind.
Okay. Do y'all want to go look at 9.6.2.2?
Sure. I always think of configuration management as more once a system is in place, managing it over time. But that may not be formally correct.
So tools that are specific to the field of business analysis provide specialized capabilities in modeling, diagramming, documenting, analyzing, and mapping requirements, identifying relationships between requirements, tracking and storing requirement artifacts, and communicating with stakeholders. Let's see what else we have. Modeling tools, creating models, tracing visuals, creating an executable. Then requirements management, workflow, traceability, configuration, verifying the quality of requirements, issue tracking, tracking requirements, risk, tracking requirements, conflict and issues, and tracking defects. And then effectiveness measures, ability to apply an understanding of one tool or from one tool to other similar tools. Being able to identify major tools currently available and describe their strengths, weaknesses, and how they may be used in a given solution. Basically, do you know how to use them? Any questions on this, guys?
Nope.
Okay. We just finished our whole test. Let's view the results. Look at that. It's better than we've done sometimes.
And it should be 64.
Yeah. No show, 19. 64, huh? Okay. Do y'all want to let's walk through that chapter now, or do you want to do another series of tests, questions? We have almost 20 minutes.
What do you feel like, Ellie?
Your call.
And the last one, nobody showed up.
The last one, nobody
Okay.
showed up. It was just us here waiting for somebody to show up to do class with.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're trying to merge with a couple of the other chapters. So hopefully we can build this thing up, because
Mhm.
kind of disappointing. Everybody disappeared after the beginning of the year.
See.
Yeah.
I don't know what other things. I mean, this one, maybe we can go once again, but maybe the techniques, I think that's a huge one.
We can go on to techniques. Honestly, with techniques, instead of asking questions, I think it's better to weeks. Do y'all mind that? Would that be okay?
What we did in the class I took with Adaptive US is there were maybe 20 people in the class, maybe it was like 18, and they were from all over the world. And what the facilitator did was have everyone read up on 2 or 3 or 4 techniques and give a presentation on each one. maybe just a few minutes. And, so that made light work for every individual, but they got to dig in with some thought and participate on their own. I actually ended up generating a couple blog posts because of that. Now,
That's a very interesting
don't
idea.
have many people, obviously, and that makes it tough. But certainly, I'd be willing to do a few. And but we need people actually here.
Mm-hmm. Elia, would you be interested in taking on a couple? And we can come back next week and just
Yep.
spend 3 to 5 minutes telling us about the ones that you took on?
Yeah, and will it make sense like pick up the ones I'm using, for example, in my job and like tell more like from that experience? Right? Because I wanted also to know like what other BAs are using.
Yeah, that's a really good
Mhm.
idea. So of the list, let's see, let me move this out of the way over here. Of the list, the first one is acceptance and evaluation criteria. Do you use that, or would you like to talk about that one?
Yep, I can talk about. I'm using agile methodology Scrum, so we're dealing a lot with the user stories and that stuff.
Okay. Okay, let's see what the next one is. Backlog management.
Mhm.
If you
I can.
go to page Roman numeral 3, you can see them all in one list. Instead
Okay.
of paging through. It's way up at the top.
Yeah, here we go. Okay. Does anybody want to take backlog management?
I can take it because it's like closely related to user stories.
Well, I was hoping.
And
It's
again,
not.
I will share like how we're doing. Is the, maybe it's a little bit different than other people.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to let me copy there. Okay, backlog management. Okay, the next one is balanced scorecard. Any takers?
I will claim observation, process,
Okay. Process what?
modeling. It's number 35.
Okay.
And also 34 process analysis.
Okay. I wish the traceability matrix. That is in here, right? We don't have traceability matrix in here. Okay, don't do it.
Wait.
Okay. I will do business cases.
Is that only for me or like screen is frozen?
Via froze.
Thea, we can't hear you.
Cliff, are you still there?
Yep, I'm still here. No, my dad just called me, so I was mute there for a second. I think we lost Thea. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, she just froze.
Her video's frozen too. And Ilya, I put in the chat
Mhm.
our LinkedIn information. If you have a LinkedIn,
Hmm.
we can get you in our channels so that you can get notifications and stuff.
Yeah, I think I already connected with you. I'm not sure about this, if I connected to the group, but yeah,
Okay.
thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's frozen.
Yep.
Oh.
So speaking about techniques, which ones you guys mostly use in your work? Like most frequent, or you using a lot of them, or like couple?
Brainstorming, some benchmarking, um, concept modeling, data dictionary, data flow, data mining, data modeling, decision analysis, document analysis, estimation, financial analysis, functional decomposition, interface analysis. Interviews is huge. I've done a ton of those. Item tracking, metrics and KPIs, non-functional requirements, observation, prioritization, the process ones, prototyping, reviews, risk analysis.
I think like everything, right?
Not everything, but about half.
Okay.
Because simulation is only one thing. So I always think from that view.
Thanks.
I got kicked off. I something offensive. Okay, who would like to do their one or more of their presentations next week? I could do this one next week. 20th meeting.
Yeah, I can do, I think, the same next week too.
The top one?
Yeah, those two. Yeah, acceptance and backlog.
Okay.
And
We
if
could probably get
just do a handful every week. And if in the emails we post what's left to clean, and then
That's great.
people commit to picking the rest of them.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, actually, Thea, if you can get me a list, I'll put it in the postings. That's
I
not a
can
problem.
get you a list and we can talk about which ones we are going to do in which meeting that we have scheduled. So I've got 4 here scheduled. We could probably do 1 or 2 more. Bob, you want to do any of them next week?
How about interface analysis?
Okay. Okay. And I'll go ahead and get this one ready just in case we need it as a backup. Okay. What else do we want to do in our last 10, 12 whole minutes?
Elia, what are you working on right now? What are you trying to get? What are you thinking about doing for your exam?
Yeah, so what do you mean, like which kind of work I'm doing, like in my my work, and why do I need this exam? That's the question.
Just how are you going about this process, and
Hmm.
do you plan to take the exam? And is there anything else you're doing or would like to do to help prepare for it?
Yeah, so yeah, my goal is to take this exam, basically to like and it's not only just exam, I'm attending those sessions, it's also knowledge gaining, right? The way of the nature of work I'm doing, like there's a like I'm wearing several hats, like I'm a scrum master, was a product owner, before I was business analyst. So work for Nielsen. I think Cliff knows very well that company, right? Now it's Nielsen IQ. They split. So it's kind of a mixture of agile and like Scrum mastering, kind of a project management. You can call it activities plus requirements management, all of that together. So what I'm looking in this business analysis and this framework is just to make that process less chaotic. Like even despite it's agile, it's like requirements coming, and it's like a lot of things. What I'm noticing is the lacking of documentation, lack of like structuring, storing the requirements in one repository. And that's what I'm trying to um, maybe achieve in the future, right? After that certification, which good positive thing, but also like understand those techniques and maybe start applying them even in agile environment. Because the agile is great. I mean, Scrum is great for short-term, maybe startup level projects. But what I'm noticing is that it needs to be complemented with some sort of more business analysis work when you're working on the big project and a lot of systems communicate to other systems. So we're actually doing not purely Scrum, we're doing more like safe agile, like we're trying to plan ahead, doing requirements, gathering, analysis, like plan some epics increments, and then doing that like in Scrums. So I'm trying to understand like how I can marry that knowledge of Scrum and this with the business analysis knowledge and leverage it. Because in the end, it's the process is the same. It's just you're doing it in the phases, or you're doing it in a small iteration, but you kind of are repeating the same thing.
It sounds like you understand the process very well. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, and also trying to like maybe after that learning, like bring some kind of the company is going through a lot of reworks, a lot of things they're exploring, and maybe introduce something like kind of this business analysis process. But I think the other thing which is lacking is like cost benefit analysis, like a lot of efforts put in the features development, but really understand if that feature is really a requirement. So that pre-work which needs to be done to really understand if that feature will bring benefit, and then post feature implementation kind of a solution assessment that actually was kind of like eye opener a little bit for me, because in that process, because everything ended once the solution is implemented, and that's it. Like we're switching to the other one, but nobody really assesses the solution if that really brings that benefit. Nobody develops that KPIs where you can track it and like measure it, and then you go into the next one. You take an informative decision that, okay, that what we did is actually bring benefit, and that didn't. So yeah, those things. So look at more holistically, like end-to-end process from business analysis point of view.
I think executives would be adoring what you're saying. Too many times I've seen projects they start with an idea and then they jump into implementation, and they don't go through the structural decomposition of the business case and work breakdown structure, and then going into implementation and taking implementation into KPIs and how to assess the solution and how to create the marketing to get everyone to accept the solution. Be sure that you know your audience. I mean, all those things, it's just skipped.
You
Yep.
also want to be aware of the entire life cycle from the beginning, and being mindful of the total value stream of the project, which means thinking about how you're going to instrument it and monitor it. It sounds like you're doing a lot of what we did the implementation. Now we're done. That's just the beginning, because the vast majority of time a system exists is going to be in use and being maintained and being analyzed and so on. And that's when you really improve it and get the value out and learn from it. And so you're talking about all that, which I think is spectacular.
I agree.
Thanks.
Well, we are about at the end of our time. Is there anything we can do for anybody on the call? Is anybody needing to find people, to meet people, to find resources, coaching, tools, techniques, organizations? Anybody have a problem?
I'm grateful I have specific things to do, so.
I'm
You
glad
need a
you have
to-do list.
specific. Well, you know, it's good to feel like you're useful and that you have something to contribute. And everybody who's going to do presentations, it's going to help us all. If you just tell me one thing that I hadn't thought about a technique before, and it makes my life and job easier, it's valuable.
Yeah, the other thing I was like struggling in the beginning, and I think it's still challenging, is like when you have multiple projects, and usually have multiple, like I have 3 projects running in parallel, different stages. Like any tips, guys, you have, or any approaches, like how to manage effectively all 3, let's say, because like you naturally like tending to the one which maybe you like more and you're spending more time there, and the other ones you kind of ignoring a little bit, like that you're not paying that much of attention there. So any tips here?
That's human nature. It's even worse when each project has their own VPN, own VM, own environment. So you can't even work on 2 at the same time if you wanted. That's the problem I run into a lot, because I actually do a lot of the data work. So you can't get into one person's system while you're working on another project and get into their system. It's a pain. You almost have to carve out certain sections of your day purposely and stick to it and say, hey, I'm only working on it this time frame, and I've got to dedicate, that time to it.
So you're
otherwise-
basically splitting your day like this, let's say part of the day I will work on this one,
Mhm.
that, or you like Monday, Tuesday, I will work more on that. You know,
Yeah. And it depends
It
on what kind of work
honestly
you have
depends.
too. Mm,
it depends. Yeah.
It
Mhm.
depends on when your stakeholders and SMEs are available, because you have
Mm.
to be available when they are. I use a Kanban system and I prioritize based on due dates and urgencies. But it doesn't mean it's always easy. It just kind of gives me a high level of, okay, you can do one of these 5 things and they all need to be done now. But at least I know which ones are most urgent.
Yeah, I want it now.
I want it now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Say, one of my owners I worked for used to say way back when, and this is an old school cat, if you can't screw your friends, who can you screw? So, the people you have the best relationships with tend to be the ones you can put off, and the ones that are most annoying and most angry. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. Not
Mhm.
always the best way, but sometimes that's human nature too.
Yeah.
Right. If you do find a solution for that, we want to hear it.
Problem is sometimes the squeaky wheel is always the same damn person.
That's true. They've discovered that there's benefits. They get reinforced that there's positive benefits to bad behavior.
Yeah, you're giving a doggy treat to the dog. Yeah.
Mhm. For real. Okay, Cliff, I will send this list to you and I'll create the complete list. And then I'm going to send you 2 lists. One is the whole list in alphabetical order of the techniques. And then the second one is what we're going to do for the next meeting, so people can see what's scheduled.
Okay,
I'll send that by email.
no problem. And I'll let what's her face know that Thursday nights
Her name
are
is
probably.
Judy. Yes.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
agree
looking
with
at
you.
my cheat sheet. I don't remember names and I don't have her email up right now. So
It's okay.
I didn't mean that derogatory. I just meant I don't remember her name.
I know.
But the other one's anyway.
Yeah. And then there's that other person that we
Yeah.
got to talk to. Okay.
Yeah. All
Well,
right.
it was good to get to spend time with y'all. I'm sorry I kept getting kicked off, but we got it done.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
Thank you.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
Bye,
Thanks.
guys.